Be cool, be kind, be classy. The cupcakes are sweet and sexy. Have fun and enjoy the journey. Or just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. And not just the YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade. Sipping motions of lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. Is a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Sack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish and Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Pilta and Meshegas. Ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Pro said, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcakes sweet and sassy. And not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I can't believe it's only noon where I am. It's noon. I think it's 6 p.m. on the East Coast. I don't know what day it is anymore. Apparently, they sent the jury home in Lindsay Clancy's trial at about 10 after 4. They sent the jury home. And so they are told to come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. And so that's what they're going to do. See what we can plan for tomorrow. I really don't think there's going to be a jury tomorrow. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a verdict tomorrow. I really don't. There's so much evidence in that case that I just don't think there's any way they're coming back tomorrow. Guess we'll have to occupy ourselves some other way. Do some verdict watch. I don't know. We'll see. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns are always welcome. And somebody said in the pre-chat, oh my God, it's about time we got away from that heavy stuff and got into some comedy with Adam Lally. And yeah, I agreed. I couldn't agree with you anymore. We had so much trouble today. My stream was taken down, I think 6 or 7 times during the live streaming of the closing arguments by, I don't know, bots, by mass reporting. It just said violation of YouTube policies or whatever, and it was the court feed. Everyone was using the same court feed. It was wild. I still don't know what happened because they never even sent me an email about it. But it happened to not just me. It happened to everyone. It happened to Surviving the Survivor. It happened to Defense Diaries. It happened to a lot of people. Duty Ron, everybody, and then some people just stopped their streams. Like Duty, I stayed, and it kept coming back. But the replay is still up. And during the replay, that panel or whatever it is, that notice doesn't come up at all. But you can see the chat going nuts about what happened. They took your stream down, and it's just me like doing whatever I was doing behind the scenes to try and fix it. And that notice doesn't come up at all on the replay. So the whole thing is really sus. It's really weird. I don't know what happened. Yeah, Law and Crime even went down and they had to use the, I don't know. They had to use the Court TV feed, but they're the same company. I don't know. I just don't know. But it was weird. And then I was just watching Peter Tragos and his stream kept glitching too, but he said there was a storm near him. So I don't even know. It's a conspiracy. It's a whole conspiracy. I don't really know. I don't know. So today we're going back to Norfolk Superior Court because this happened earlier today. Towel News Network was in the courtroom and got permission to stream this hearing on Myles King with Rosemary Scapicchio. Adam Lally on the stand for 4 hours. Do you want to watch it? Do you want to watch it? Grant Smith Ellis will let us use his feed. I'm sure he's cool about it. And the necklace details are in my Amazon storefront. It's linked below this video. For some reason, it won't let me link this necklace to the stream because it says it's frequently returned. However, I love this necklace. I don't know why anybody would return it. It's like $20. So I have an Amazon storefront in the show notes of all my favorite things, and I think it's under like the jewelry thing or whatever. You can check it out. So Baby Shark is back. Baby Shark, dude. The audio is not that bad. I just listened to it on replay and I can boost it. So if you think the audio is horrible and you don't want to watch, then peace out. See you another time. You're not hurting my feelings, but it'll be interesting to listen to that again. So it's Proctor, and then this was supposed to come back September 14th. That's Proctor is supposed to be there. So for those of you not familiar with the Myles case, the Myles King case, Myles King, 21-year-old dude from Milton, Massachusetts, is charged with first-degree murder in the July 10th of 2021 shooting death of Marquis Simmons, 25 years old, also known by his rap star name, Mizzy Cash. Case is pending in Norfolk Superior Court, Massachusetts. It involves many of the same players as the Karen Reed trial, including ADA Adam Lally, former dishonorably discharged Massachusetts State Police Trooper Michael Proctor, who is an equal opportunity bigot, racist. He hates just about everyone except for, I guess, white men. He's also a misogynist, in case you didn't know. And he's an anti-Semite. All the things. And the reason that we have all of his text messages and his entire phone extraction is because of Queen Rosemary Scapicchio, because she ain't got no quit. Rosemary Scapicchio, who is, you may know her from the Netlfix Trial 4 documentary series, which I have not watched it yet. I know you guys keep telling me to watch it. I just don't have time. I haven't watched it yet. I will, maybe one day. I can't promise. I can't promise that I will. Many of you have watched Trial 4 on Netflix, and your love of Rosemary Scapicchio has only grown. Interesting to point out, Rosemary Scapicchio is representing Lindsay Clancy in her medical malpractice case. So she does civil cases too. She works with her daughter, Nicole. Her daughter, Nicole's with her all the time. They wear matching outfits. They're adorable. We love Queen Rosemary. So what had happened was Myles King was held without bail for over 4 years. And because Adam Lally and Michael Proctor weren't turning over discovery, like simple things like search warrants that they had since 2021. And so Rosemary was having none of it anymore. And so she made this motion to dismiss. And then after she received more information regarding all the things that were being withheld and Proctor's phone messages and everything, she made a second motion to dismiss based on egregious governmental misconduct. And so Judge Doolin over there in Norfolk Superior called an evidentiary hearing, because that's what you're supposed to do in these kind of cases when there's questions of fact about why evidence isn't getting turned over. You're supposed to have an evidentiary hearing where you force these guys to get on the stand and be questioned and put on the Barbie by someone like Rosemary and have them answer for all the reasons why they didn't do what they were supposed to do. We saw another evidentiary hearing, you may recall, in the Brian Walsh case with Judge Diane Frenier, in which Yuri Buchanan and Brian Tully had to get up on the stand. Was it Tully or Fanning or both? I don't remember. But that was a wild evidentiary hearing. It is something that Judge Cannoni never did and should have done with regard to all of the missing Sally Port footage, the inverted videos, the, stuff that just was disappearing, reappearing. It was completely, and we know, the video was altered. Was altered. We're going to find out today. No spoilers, please, because I haven't watched it. But apparently there may have been some other finagling with video, ring video in this case, in the Myles King case. And Michael Proctor, of course, was behind that also. But we're going to find that out, so just stay tuned. The first hearing, this is the first part of this evidentiary hearing, and you might have watched it with me because we were there together, July 21st. Of 2025, July 21st of 2025. And then Judge Doolin pulled the plug on it and said, I'm sorry, this is Judge Krupp. Did I say Doolin before? I meant Krupp. pulled the plug on it. And Adam Lally was on the stand and for a long time, and he was getting real hot under the collar. And he was like, "Yeah, I didn't look at the video. I didn't look at the file. I don't have the file. I don't have access to the file anymore. They took me off the case. I don't have the act. I don't have it. I don't know. I can't recall. I don't know. I can't recall." Krupp pulled the plug on the hearing and told them to go make a chart of all the evidence that's missing or, not missing, or it was the best day, right? And then it was supposed to be continued until August 5th of 2025. And here we are, over 1 year later. Today's August 27th, 2026. And we're finally getting part 2 of this evidentiary hearing skewering barbecue. WTF. WTF. All of the Fs. What are we doing? So what had happened was after, it was something like Myles King had been held without bail since July of 2021. And in April 2025 is when this motion was originally made to dismiss. And so he had been held for 4 years. So they made a motion to let him out on bail because he'd been held because they weren't turning over evidence. Anyway, the judge decides to let him out on bail, and he gets out on bail. And while he's out on bail, he gets picked up by the feds for alleged drug dealing while he was out on bail. It was insane. It took over the year. I don't know if they made the chart. They did. There've been hearings since then and conferences since then. And I have an entire Massachusetts versus Myles King playlist with it, which I think I linked below this video. But so that happened. He was released on $10,000 cash bail back in June of 2025. And then he got picked up by the feds. I don't remember exactly when that was. So he's still in custody. But here's what happens when a guy, he's up on first-degree murder charges. It was a shooting in the street in Milton. But then when Proctor's phone extractions started coming out, it seemed that perhaps Michael Proctor was giving, let's say, more credit to the white police officers at the scene who claim that Marquis Simmons made a dying declaration that it was Myles King, Mizzy Cash, who shot him, when there were a couple of Black people tending to Marquis Simmons while he was dying. He didn't say anything to them. They didn't hear it, but the white cops did. So of course Proctor's involved. So now this is a big scandal. And today they're finally continuing this hearing. So thank you to Towel News Network for getting there and doing the Lord's work. Let's just take a look at a quick news piece from, why can I enlarge this? Boston 25, because Ted Daniel was there today. Oh, but why is their video so blurry? Hang on. The courtroom was empty. I think that Boozy Beauty, Grant Smith Ellis, and Ted Daniel were maybe the only people in the courtroom. Here's his report from earlier. Well, actually not earlier. It just dropped, I think, for the 5 o'clock news. I can't even believe 5 o'clock news is still a thing. Can you? Who watches news on television anymore?
A high-stakes hearing centered around disgraced former state police detective Michael Proctor in Dedham today. Proctor was the lead investigator of a 2021 murder in Milton. As investigative reporter Ted Daniel explains, the man accused of the killing wants his charges dropped.
Myles King is the defendant in this case. His defense argues the murder investigation was tainted by Michael Proctor. A prosecutor you may recognize from the first Karen Reed trial was questioned for hours about that.
Were you aware of any of the biases in racist beliefs held by Trooper Proctor when he was investigating the King case?
No, that was never communicated to me.
I would love to know if he's in Proctor's phone extraction. Huh.
Norfolk County Assistant District Attorney Adam
Oh, look at him. He is such a beaten man. Wait, does he have his baby shark hairdo?
Lally returned to the stand more than a year after he was first called to testify in the Myles King case. Lally previously served as the lead prosecutor of the King case back when former Trooper Michael Proctor was the lead investigator.
You would continue to work with Trooper Proctor after he called black and brown people animals?
That is absolutely not what I just said.
Okay.
What I said is I don't determine who the state police assigns as a case officer to a case.
Look at he's shaking his head around. Oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Here's Rosemary and her daughter, Nicole, and that is their client. In between them, Myles King. Oh, look, there's a couple people in the courtroom, actually.
Attorney Rosemary Scapicchio represents King. She argues the case against him should be tossed over Proctor's handling of evidence and Proctor's alleged racist texts and voice messages.
They're not allegedly racist. I could think that we can all agree that they are 100% racist. I don't think we have to say allegedly before any of that racism.
One of them was the comment where he said, slow roll it to an accident because it involved a black person.
Have you seen this before?
Yes.
Lally testified that he shared all of the evidence Proctor shared with him, and he reviewed pages of it.
Lally was still on the stand when proceedings wrapped up, and he's expected to be called back when this hearing resumes. A date's been set for September, and attorney Scapicchio says she intends to call Michael Proctor. I'm investigative reporter Ted Daniel, Boston 25 News.
I mean, all right.
Very often, I think people know when they're voting early, they made their mind up.
Oh, if you live in Norfolk County, did you vote yet? Did you vote for Norfolk DA? Because the actual election day is September 1st, which is coming up very quickly next week. Somebody just started doing construction. It sounds like. Let's get into court because this happened earlier this morning in Norfolk Superior Court in front of Judge Krupp. Talon News Network was there. Shout out to Talon News Network. Everyone, please get on over there and give Grant Smith Ellis a like and a sub. Oh, he says 17.2 thousand subscribers. Remember before he came on my show or when he came on my show? I don't remember how many he had, but I want to say it was like, was it under 10,000? So good on him getting out there and getting it done. Talon News Network for the win. All right. I'm going to just make it larger so that it's better on your screen. Oh, it would help if I shared the screen with you, I guess, probably, right? Hold on. Okay, so here's his channel here. Grant Smith Ellis, see that? 17.2 thousand subscribers. Talon News Network. There he is. There's his QR codes for his Cash App and his Venmo. And I think you're going to be able to hear it because I think I'm going to be able to modulate the volume for it. Yeah, that's the beauty of doing it after it airs live, is that I think you're going to be able to hear it just fine. All right, here we go.
Court is now back in session. You may be seated.
Okay, can you hear it? Too bad for Ted Daniel, I guess, is not on the Lindsay Clancy case because he's the only one because the Reddington was mobbed today when he left court. Judge Krupp. No, it's just Krupp. K-R-U-P-P. Let me know you can hear it.
In the matter of the Commonwealth versus Myles King, Norfolk Commonwealth Act 2021-0320, this matter is scheduled for an evidentiary motion to dismiss. Mr. King is present in court with his attorneys, Rosemary Scapicchio, Nicole Scapicchio, and Julie Silverdana. Commonwealth is represented by ADA Jennifer Hickman, ADA Tracy Cusick, and ADA 1980. Counsel, starting with the Commonwealth, please identify yourselves for the court and the record. My name is Jennifer Hickman on behalf of the Commonwealth. Okay. Good morning, Your Honor. Just on behalf of the Commonwealth.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rosemary Scapicchio on behalf of Mr. King. Good morning, Your Honor. Nicole Scapicchio on behalf of Mr. King. Good morning, Your Honor. Please move on, Mr. King.
Okay.
King, you came in from someplace far away, they got you here close to on time, that's good. Good morning, you can be seated. Okay, we started this hearing more than a year ago.
That's right.
We had one partial day of evidence. We were on direct of witness number one, and we need to continue with witness number one and including cross-examination. But since we started this hearing, the hearing has morphed a little bit. There have been quite a number of additional disclosures. There have been supplemental motions to dismiss filed, two of them, as far as I can tell, one purporting to describe certain prejudice from the late disclosures, and one on different grounds relating to Michael Proctor. And so when we spoke last time, I think I talked about being able to opine myself in advance of which witnesses we would be calling. I saw that stuff recently filed, and I saw it too late to make that call, although I think I would be very good at making that call based on.
He doesn't think he'd be very good at making what call. Unfortunately, there's no subtitles on this, so I can't put them on for you, but are you able to make out what the judge is saying? Luckily, he's not going to be speaking too much. It's going to be Rosemary at a mic and Lally at a mic.
What's been presented to me. This is really two prongs: late disclosure and any prejudice from that late disclosure. So those are two prongs of the same issue.
Yes.
Late disclosure and prejudice. No, closed captions. He doesn't have it enabled. I can't. Sorry.
And number two, bias in the investigation as a result of Mr. Proctor's strongly held views and strongly articulated views.
That's being kind. Michael Proctor's strongly articulated views. Yeah.
And I wanted to hear from you as to what we should do next. It seems to me we have to finish Mr. Lally's testimony. I have a full afternoon, unfortunately, so we have all morning. We have until 1 o'clock.
So that's why he only had until 1 o'clock today. He only had until 1 o'clock. That's why it was only half a day.
But hopefully we get Mr. Lally finished today, and then we can have further discussion about whether there was any evidence needed on the second supplemental motion relating to Mr. Proctor, and what additional witnesses we need with respect to the first issue. So I'm only saying this because it's like speaking out loud. I'm trying to frame the issue as best as I understand it. So anybody who wants to tweak that understanding, I'd be willing to hear from you.
So good, I guess I had a question regarding the additional witnesses. Does the court want to hear audio on that, or are we going to be allowed to call them, or are we going to decide what this might be?
I think we should hear what it is that you're divided or being called. Okay. And we should have that conversation. But I got one paragraph description. Maybe that's all I asked for.
You did ask for one paragraph description for witnesses.
And I appreciate that.
She did submit some papers with some more people that she wants to call at the hearing. We can look at that afterwards, but she wants to call the ADA, Jennifer Hickman. She wants to call Brian Tully and some other people. And she wrote a paragraph. Well, I'll just pull it up on the side here and tell you exactly who it is. She's got an additional witness list, including Michael Proctor, former Canton Police Sergeant Sean Good, retired Trooper Brian Tully, Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Hickman, ADA Lisa Beatty, Dr. Lindsay Davis. Oh, she's got an expert. Dr. Davis wants to call Dr. Davis to rebut the Commonwealth's claim in their opposition that Proctor's racism did not affect his investigation. Dr. Davis's testimony will be both about how the implicit and explicit bias of Proctor affected his ability to conduct a fair investigation. Dr. Davis will testify on explicit and implicit bias and their effects on human behavior. She will describe the research on outgroup derogation, dehumanization, and delegitimization. All the D's. She will describe the research on outgroup derogation, dehumanization, and delegitimization. And Dr. Davis will also discuss the intersection of identity-based biases with other forms of cognitive bias, including confirmation bias. She also wants to call Lieutenant Michael Collins from Milton PD, Officer Colligan. And he's this Officer Colligan he's the first Milton officer to reach Marquis Simmons on the day of the incident, July 10th, 2021 on Belvoir Road. And he's the sole source of the statement attributing the shooting to Mizzy Cash. Mizzy Cash is the rocker name of the defendant, Myles King. Officer Colligan is also expected to testify about his involvement in this investigation as it relates to former Trooper Proctor. And then the last guy is, she wants to call Officer John Binda. He is another, it doesn't say who he is or where he works. But that's just a little taste of the people that she wants to call. Obviously, they're not happening today because this was Lally all day, all Lally all the time. I think the audio is going to get a little better, so just hang in there.
I hope you each think about whether that person should be called, but I'm not sure that I could flesh it out enough. Okay, so I'm guilty of my own admitting this. So you want to start with Mr. Lally and see if we can get Mr. Lally out off the stand, and then we can have further conversations?
Sure.
Okay, he's testifying as to the first part of the motion, the issue of
Well, I don't know if it's like
timing of disclosure and potential prejudice.
I don't know if it's related to the first part of the disclosure because he works with Trooper Proctor, so I'd be asking him questions regarding Trooper Proctor. So.
All right, we can take those up if there's an objection. Okay?
Sure.
Okay.
She does work with her daughter. Her daughter is blonde.
You can recall Attorney Lally.
Grant understood the assignment as he zooms in on the courtroom doors, waiting for Adam Lally to entree.
Oh, can I ask one question?
Sure.
My client is saying I spoke to the court officer and wondering if we'll authorize him and have him have some type of person this hearing so we take notes.
That's okay.
Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Here he comes. Lally's the kind of lawyer that probably carries a backpack.
Mr. Lally, we started your testimony in the other room back in July of 2025 and recorded that time. And under my purposes, this hearing is over. Okay?
May I,
Lally is standing in the witness box. He is standing.
You may.
Thank you.
He was just told to take a seat. If you have vertigo or you're sensitive to movement or you get nauseous if you're on a roller coaster, you might want to sit this one out because it looks like the camera's going to be a little shaky. Listen, Grant Smith-L is picking up the slack, getting into the courtroom, getting permission to stream it live, got a handheld camera. It is what it is. I thank him for doing it all the same.
Morning, Mr. Lally.
Morning.
So last we spoke, we were talking about your involvement in Mr. King's case as the assigned assistant district attorney. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes.
Okay. The testimony has been transcribed. All of the parties have it, so I'm not going to go over any of that testimony. I think we're going to move on.
He looks like he's sitting in a high chair. He looks tiny. Permission to use the binky emoji and the boss baby emoji, but he looks so tiny if you're not watching because you're rage cleaning or rage doing whatever you do in your rage. He's like this. Larry, he's got no notes. He probably didn't even review the file. All right, I'll shut up for a few minutes.
To issues that are relevant to this hearing. The first thing I want to talk to you about is, I'm not sure if you have Exhibit 1 or if you didn't copy of Exhibit 1. We have it. We need, okay, we should talk to Mr. Lally about it. May I please return?
Sure.
This is just a motion. I'm showing you a document, Attorney Lally. Can you tell me whether or not you recognize that document? Okay. And does that give you the discovery motion that I filed in this case?
It appears to be, yes.
May I please return?
If I can just, what's the date of that document?
That's in 12/22/21.
Okay.
I would take this discussion.
All right, it may have been marked as Exhibit 1 before, right? Everybody thinks this is what was marked as Exhibit 1.
Yes.
All right, so we'll remark that as Exhibit 1.
Thank you. So, Ms. Lally, when you received that from me in December of 2021, what did you do?
I did what I do with any discovery motion that I received from counsel, and I forwarded it to all involved police departments in the case, and make requests basically to fulfill whatever you or any other counsel is looking for in terms of discovery.
So in this case, would you?
So he gets a discovery motion and he does what he does in any case, which is forward it on to the police department. Okay. He needs a booster seat, 100%.
Forward it to?
In this case, I would have forwarded it to hopefully Trooper Proctor.
Okay, what
I
happened?
would say it's potentially someone else, depending on the content. I don't recall, but if it had something to do with the lab, the medical examiner's office, or something, some other agency, then I would forward it to that agency.
Okay. And then once you forwarded my discovery request to at least the state police and the Milton police, what did you do to follow up on that?
If there were materials that were discoverable within the motion and I hadn't received them, then I would have followed up to find out what the status was and what was going on with those particular items.
So wait a minute, who's making the determination as to what's discoverable? Is that the state police and the Milton Police Department, based on you sending them the motion?
Discoverable in the long term, what I meant to say is whether or not they had it in their possession, whether or not it was something that they had in their custody, because there certainly could be requests made within the discovery motion for items that just either don't exist or we don't have.
So when you sent this to the state police, and you sent it to the state police and you sent it to Trooper Proctor, what response did you get from Trooper Proctor back in December of 2021 about the documents that would fulfill my discovery request? Do you have any notes, or did you take any notes at the time about what Trooper Proctor represented to you that was in the file that needed to be disclosed?
If I did, I have not looked at notes or anything pertaining to the file in a very long time. I'm trying to answer your question, but I don't know.
So you didn't look at the file before you came here and testified today?
No.
You knew we were going to ask about the file, right?
I don't know what you asked.
Well, we asked about the file a year ago, right?
Yes.
And I asked you to review it then a year ago. Remember that?
I don't remember you saying that.
And then you knew you were going to be in here and be questioned about the file, right?
I don't know what you're going to ask.
When we're talking about late discovery, do you think that the file that's contained in the district attorney's office is important to determine what was disclosed and what wasn't, Attorney Wagner?
Sorry, what's your question?
When you're talking about late discovery, do you think what's contained in the district attorney's file is important to determine what was disclosed and what wasn't disclosed?
Sure.
And you didn't do anything to look at that file, is that what you're saying?
To look at notes from December of 21. No,
All right, how about your memory? What's your memory of what Trooper Proctor told you he had in terms of documents?
my memory, as far as, again, I mean, it's an ongoing obligation to provide discovery, so as the case moves along and more.
We haven't gotten on yet, we're just talking about late discovery.
He didn't review the file. A year ago, he was yelled at for not reviewing the file, and he still didn't review the file because he wants to maintain plausible deniability. Somebody said that somewhere in here, it's going to come out that he hasn't been an active ADA since somewhere before the Karen Reed trial. Earbuds could help if you can't understand him. Maybe the TV is not the best place to watch this. If you have earbuds in, you can kind of make out what he's saying, but there's no captions on this. This is the feed we have. It's all we got. It's all we got.
Sorry.
So recognizing that there's an ongoing obligation to provide discovery, if there's any discovery that is generated, then it will be provided in the time of what, as I did with the 26 notices of discovery and 172 items of unique discovery that was provided to you in the course of the time that I was there.
Oh, so you know about those numbers, you just don't know about the 5, right?
And he talks like he has marbles in his mouth, so that's part of the problem too. Yeah, he doesn't give an F because Massachusetts judges will cover him. He really doesn't care.
I don't know what you're referring to as the file.
The file in the district attorney's office that would have the information of what notes he took during the time he represented the Commonwealth.
Okay.
He told us he kept a checklist.
It's not serious trial, right? This is just
I understand.
a hearing in front of the court. Okay. He did not review the file before coming in today. Next question. Yes. Just allow me to answer the question.
And Krupp is like sticking up for him. He didn't review his file. All right, no whatever, no big whoop, no biggie.
With an exception provided by me on the request. Okay? I understand that. Go ahead.
So, what did Trooper Proctor give you?
Specific to this motion,
Yes.
I don't recall what, it's a 10-page motion, I don't recall everything that was listed within the motion.
If he was going to give you anything, when you got it in your office, how did you document it?
I'm sorry, how did I document what was provided?
Yes.
The notice of discovery that was provided to you.
So the notice that was the discovery that was provided to me, that's the way you documented what the state police gave you? Is that right?
So as soon as I receive anything, as far as discovery is concerned, I don't wait for the next court date to turn it over. What I do is, as soon as I receive something, I make a copy of it, I forward it to counsel along with the notice of discovery and cover letter attached.
So, but my question was, the notice of discovery that you provided in this case, and you said you provided 26 notices of discovery, that discovery came from Trooper Proctor, right?
Not all of it. I mean, there were items from other agencies, but anything from the state police presumably would comprehend.
From Trooper Proctor.
Correct.
Everything came from Proctor, unless it was like Milton PD. All the discovery came from Proctor, or didn't come from Proctor, depending on who you're listening to, because Proctor didn't turn anything over to him, and he takes no notes, and he could give 2 shits less. He couldn't give 2 shits less. He just doesn't care at all. So think about that. This was in 2021. This was almost 1 year to the day before the murder of John O'Keefe. This is how they were doing it back then. This is how they've been doing it for decades, and they just don't care because they never thought they were going to get caught. They thought that they could continue on like this, and nobody was ever going to find out. And then came a little girl named Karen Reed. And after that, everything has exploded. And this guy's on the stand looking like he's sitting on a high chair. Needs a binky. It's like, I didn't do anything. I don't know nothing.
Okay. And so my question to you is, when do you get whatever you get? So how does Trooper Proctor give it to you? Does he email it? Does he drop it off? Do you have a conversation? How does that happen?
It varies depending on what it is. It could be any one of those things.
Okay. So do you know how many times you met with Trooper Proctor regarding this case and the discovery?
No.
And can you tell me when he sends discovery to you, whether it's by email or he drops it off or you have a conversation, how do you document that in your file?
I don't think I would necessarily. Again, as soon as I receive it, what I do with it before the end of the day is I type up a notice of discovery, I make a copy of whatever the discovery item is, and I send it off to the defense counsel.
Okay.
So he doesn't document it when he gets it. He doesn't document it. All he does is send out a notice of discovery and sends it out, but he's got no tickler system. Anybody work in a law firm ever in your entire life? We have a tickler system. A little tickle gives you a little reminder. Follow up on this. Get this done. Deadline's coming up. It's called his tickler system. He doesn't have any system. He does nothing. He takes no notes. He documents it nowhere. And apparently they have no training there either because he's allowed to get away with this for decades.
You do the same thing with the Milton Police Department. You sent the motion to the Milton Police Department, is that right?
Yes.
And how would you communicate with the Milton Police Department about that, about documents that they have responsive to that discovery request?
In the same manner as far as whether I couldn't tell you if it was a phone call or an email, but it was, as far as forwarding the discovery motion to them, that was done via email, but as far as any subsequent conversations in relation to it, essentially what I'm looking for from every department in every case that I've ever done is anything and everything we should have.
And can you tell them that?
So this is what you've done for your whole entire career. He's been working at the DA's office for like 25 years. Okay. And he's still making like $140 a year after over 20 years. He might be better off managing a Home Depot. I'm just saying.
This motion asks specific things, but I want anything and everything that you have. Did you say that to the Milton Police, sir?
Yes.
And did you say it to the state police, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And then did you keep track? I think you said last time you had a checklist of what was turned over and what you was still outstanding. That was something you kept in your file. Is that right?
I'm not sure what checklist you're talking about.
Well, you talked about a checklist last time you testified. You said the way you kept track of things is that you had a checklist. And when things were turned over, you would check it off. Remember
And now he's denying that he even had a checklist. This is a joke.
that testimony? Is that what you did? Did you have a checklist?
So I would have a checklist when I first get assigned to the case as far as items that I'm looking for purposes of grand jury, for purposes of general discovery, because my intention is always to sort of front load the discovery and give counsel as much as humanly possible at the arraignment date.
My intention is to front load discovery and give them everything as soon as possible. In what world? In what world? Contractors would go to Lowe's if he worked at Home Depot. Good one, Custer Crazy Horse. That was no shade to anybody who works at Home Depot. I love Home Depot. I find them to be very friendly, and they always help me find exactly what I can always find someone to help me at Home Depot. I'm just saying, this guy's a career. He's a lifer at the Norfolk DA's office, and this is his attitude, and this is the way he does things.
Subsequent to the arraignment date, that if there was something specific that was either requested by counsel or there was a motion filed, then yes, I would keep that, or do my best to keep track of what was outstanding and what we were doing.
And was that by checklist like you talked about before?
So the checklist thing I think you're talking about is probably something that I do prior to indictment. So the checklist is sort of initially when I receive the file, then I'm going through it and trying to figure out, what do we have in this case as far as evidence is concerned, is there videos or photos, is there some sort of grand jury subpoena for third-party partners I need to do, or what have you.
So with respect to let's start with the state police. When you received the documents from the state police, you immediately put together a discovery notice and sent it out. Is that right?
Correct.
And the same thing with the Milton police. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. And then at some point, I assume you looked through what they gave you, right, before you sent it out?
Well, I would get to review things before, but I would then, sure.
Okay. And did you make any determinations that anything that the state police gave you was not discovered?
No.
Did you make any determinations that anything the Milton police gave you was not discovered?
No. To be honest, I don't think I have ever looked at any piece of discovery and said, I'm not going to do this to the defense attorney because I don't think it's discoverable. I don't make those calls. I think that's something important.
Well, you have to determine what's discoverable because you have to turn it over, right?
Right. What I'm saying is if I receive discovery, you as a defense attorney are getting it, whether we can argue later on whether or not it's admissible, but as far as you have access to, you should have access to everything I have.
Okay.
He says that he gives them everything. He doesn't decide whether it's discoverable or not. He'll just give them everything he has. And we can fight about it later. What a joke this is, huh? You believe him?
So once you do the first round of discovery, did you believe that discovery was complete at that point? That the state police had complied with everything that I requested?
Yes.
You did?
As far as what existed at that time, I'm sure there were things in your motion that might become, whether it was forensic testing or things of that nature that, as far as reports were concerned, everything that I had and had. If it was going to be anything further, reports written or forensic testing that was conducted, then that would be provided as soon as we see.
So it's your position that the first round of discovery 1, contained all the information that the state police had up to the date that you disclosed that information, is that right?
That's my understanding, yes.
And what about the Milton Police Department? When you sent them the motion, is that the same thing? What they turned over to you was everything that they had?
That was what I understand.
I want to be very clear about what your testimony is about. Is it your testimony that as of the first disclosure, you had disclosed everything that you had? Or
Even the judge is like, okay, I want to be very clear about this, Lally. Is your testimony really that you had turned over everything that you had by this point in December of 2021? Krupp is like, I want to be very, very clear about this.
everything that the state police had?
So in the first disclosure, it would have been every single thing that I had. And if there was, I believe this motion was dated in December of 21, which was around the time that Mr. King was arraigned in this. So then that would have been post-indictment, post his arraignment, and that would have been forwarded to the relevant police departments and a request made to any and all materials that are contained in the motion or any other materials that departments have to need.
So let's continue about the Milton Police Department. So it's your position that when Milton responded to you in the first discovery motion, they gave you everything that they had generated through the date of that disclosure, is that right?
That's my understanding.
Okay. Did you do anything to make sure that you got everything from the Milton Police Department?
Do anything further than ask for everything and being told that I had everything? No.
Well, let's stop there. Who told you you had everything from Milton? Who said you have everything we have? Who said that?
That would have been Lieutenant Collins.
Lieutenant Collins. So you had a conversation with Lieutenant Collins sometime before you filed the first discovery notice, in which he told you you had every document that we produced in this case through today's date. Is that what happened?
Yes.
Okay. And did you at that point say, let me see your file?
I did not.
Is there a reason you didn't ask to see the file?
I accepted his representation that I had everything that he had.
Okay. And you found out later that that wasn't true, right?
Correct.
So I guess my question is, when a police department tells you that they've given you everything, and you take that at face value that they've given you everything, is there any follow-up at all to say, let me see your whole box, let me see all your stuff, send me your electronic file, anything like that?
At that time,
Okay. So I guess the question
I was chewing my protein bar, so I was like, he's got no intellectual curiosity at all. He doesn't have to see the file. It's just trust me, bro, on everything. And now he's like, well, at that time, yeah, at that time, that was our procedure. Like they've changed their procedures since then. Really? Every single case this man has ever worked on needs to be reopened and reinvestigated, just like Proctor's. Every single case that he and Proctor worked on together definitely needs to be reopened and reinvestigated. I'm trying to modulate between his volume and hers, and it's just, it's too much. It's too much trouble. So just like, we're just going to have to suffer. Can you hear it?
How can you represent to the court that you turned everything over? You're relying on the individual police departments to tell you that they gave you everything?
at that time in the case, yeah.
Okay. So are they the ones that are looking at the discovery motion saying these are the things that King is asking for and these are the things we have to disclose, or are you saying give me everything?
Both. I'm giving them a copy of the motion so they can know specifically what you requested. And then I'm also, at the same time, telling them to give me anything and everything, even if it's not encompassed within the motion.
Okay. So, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. So you're doing both. You're saying you have an obligation to turn over all the reports, so you want everything. And then you're also showing them the motion saying this is what has been specifically requested, right?
Correct.
Because despite what's specifically requested, there's a Rule 14 obligation for you to turn over discovery, right?
Yes.
And discovery certainly encompasses police reports, is that right?
Yes.
And grand jury testimony, is that right?
Yes.
And any type of scientific testing, is that right?
Yes.
Witness statements, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And in this case, from the Milton Police Department, who was it that told you that you had everything?
I'm assuming it's Lieutenant Collins. He was my primary contact.
Okay. So when Lieutenant Collins told you that you had everything, you relied on Lieutenant Collins' representation, that he had given you all of the reports, all of the interviews, all of the materials that were contained in his file. Is that right?
Yes.
And you never did any follow-up to find out whether or not that was true. Is that right?
No.
All right. So when did you do the follow-up to find out if you have everything? Did you file 26 discovery motions in this case, right?
Notices of discovery.
Okay. 26 notices of discovery, we still didn't get all the reports from Milton. Is that fair to say?
That's my understanding, yes.
So how does that happen? What happened there?
How does that happen?
Yes.
I couldn't tell.
So at any point in time before filing these 26 discovery motions, do you make arrangements to go down to the Milton Police Department and look through their file?
No.
At any point in time, while you were assigned assistant district attorney in this case, did you go down to the Milton Police Department and look through their file?
No. It's normally that is something that I do when the case gets to trial.
When the case gets to trial?
No, not when the case gets to trial. When the case gets to trial, and meet with each of the individual officers to make sure that there's nothing that they haven't lined up.
Okay. And so you do that on the day that the trial date is assigned, or you do it closer in time to when the trial actually is going to happen?
It depends on the case, depends on the complexity, depends on how many witnesses, depends on how much time would be necessary to prepare the trial.
So what happens when you finally do this review of their file, and you find documents that haven't been disclosed? What happens then?
That would be something that I would immediately turn over to counsel.
And what if it's on the eve of trial?
It would not be on the eve of trial. I don't meet with witnesses. I don't wait to meet with witnesses until the eve of trial.
What do you wait for in this?
Yeah, when it gets closer to trial, that's when I meet with them and look at their file. I just trust them up until then. And then, it depends on the case. It depends on the complexity, the whatever. I mean, he might as well be saying, like, if the defendant is black, then I don't really care. I don't really follow up. It's like, whatever. Because Proctor's on the case. We know Proctor's going to do what he's got to do to make sure the guy is guilty. And we pin it on the guy, or the girl, even if they're 100% innocent. And so, I don't really, it depends on the case. Wow. Was there a pool camera there today? There was not. There was Zoom, but you had to watch it live. And so we were covering Lindsay Clancy live. But if you know of an actual news channel that has, I was hoping that Trial Channel would have recorded the Zoom and then put it up, but I don't think so. So we don't have it. So he's like, this is all we have. And we do it when it comes up for trial. And until then, we just do whatever. So who's got the pool camera footage? Where is it? You're telling me it exists. Where is it? Who did they put it up? I didn't see it. I can't find it on YouTube.
How long do you wait?
This case didn't have a trial
Oh, it did. It had a trial.
It had a trial date, I think, 8 months after the fact, but it was also 8 months from the date when it was reassigned to the state.
When it was reassigned to Attorney Hickman, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So it's your practice within the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office to ask for the individual police departments to give you everything and to send them the motion, but to not do any follow-up until there's a trial date. Is that right?
I would say that there's no follow-up. There were subsequent motions that you filed that, again, the same practice as far as copying the motion and sending it to them. If there was anything that I became aware of that may exist, obviously I would follow up on that. But as far as when I ask them for everything and I get a representation that I have everything that they have, I assume that I have everything that they have.
Oh,
I guess it's the assumption that I'm having a little bit of difficulty with. So,
you know what's the problem? When you assume something, you make an ass out of you and me. We know that because we watched The Odd Couple in like 1972 or 1916, whenever that was. Oscar and Felix. You don't ever assume because you make an ass out of you and me, but he just assumes. He just assumes.
instead of assuming, do you ever take it upon yourself to go look at the file?
We're talking about in this case?
In this case, yes.
Did you go down and look at the file yourself?
In this case,
And is there a reason for that?
no.
Because you understood it was your obligation to make sure that Mr. King got all of the discovery that he was entitled to, right?
Correct. Well, I mean, sort of the reason for that would be that I asked for everything so that I had. So I didn't feel the need to go down and look through the file myself to see if there was anything beyond that.
We have a training within the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office to do your own searching through these files, to not rely on individual police departments to turn over discovery to you. Did anyone ever tell you that during training that would probably be a good idea?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. And you've been
Okay, here's a great idea for everyone who wants to complain about it. If you would like to go to Young Jerks and watch their Zoom feed that they illegally broadcast, you may do that. Okay, that man does nothing but trash me with his guests on his channel, and I will not play his feed. I will not. He would likely copyright strike me. Okay, so if you want to keep mentioning him and talk, why don't you just go watch it over there? And then I don't have to sit here for 4 hours and do it with you. That's fine with me too. You know why? Because I'm really tired, because I was up at 2:30 in the morning to get up to watch the Lindsay Clancy trial. So if everyone's going to complain, I don't see any reason to continue here. Okay? You can go watch Nan and Cryford and, you know, LTL. Go ahead. Go. I'm not doing that.
by the time you had Mr. King's case, how many years had you been an assistant district attorney?
By the time I was assigned Mr. King's case, probably 16 years.
So for 16 years, your practice was that you relied on the individual police departments to give you everything. And if you didn't get it, you waited until it's right before the trial to look through the trial file. Is that what you did? You looked through the file right before trial?
No, not right before trial. That's not what I said.
Okay, but your practice is to rely on the police departments, individual police departments, to give you all of the discovery. Is that right?
Yes.
Your practice isn't to go to the individual police departments and look at their files, right?
At the point in time you're talking about, when just after the defendant had arraigned them.
How about in the 26 notices that you filed? Before any of the 26 notices that you filed, did you go to the Milton Police Department and make sure you had everything?
No.
How about the state police? The 26 notices that you filed, did you go to the state police to make sure you had it?
Probably, yes.
You probably went to the state police.
Yes.
What does that mean?
What that means is, again, as cases going on for the number of months that this case went on, there were, I would imagine, numerous conversations regarding discovery, whether it was a motion that you would file, or whether it was a motion I had filed, or different aspects of discovery that we're looking at. Those conversations were ongoing as far as ensuring that I had everything. That it's not like I would rely on a one-time representation at the inception of the case. So I have everything, yes, okay, fine.
So I guess my question is, with respect to the state police, did you ever go and look at their file? Well, you represented the Commonwealth in the case of Commonwealth versus Myles King. Did you go and look at the state police file?
No.
Did you have any idea in the 26 notices of discovery that you filed what the contents of the state police file was?
No.
What about the Milton police?
The state police are literally in the same building as him. And he could care less. He doesn't care. He just doesn't care. He doesn't care. He does nothing. He does nothing outside the box. He does nothing. He doesn't try at all. He doesn't try. He's Johnny Paycheck. He's Johnny Punch Clock, Johnny Paycheck, 9 to 5, clocks in, clocks out, collects his $140 a year that he's been working there for 25 years or whatever. And that's all he cares. That's all he cares about. He will never amount to anything. He will never succeed in life because he just doesn't care enough. He doesn't work hard enough. He doesn't go above and beyond. He doesn't even do the bare minimum. They just give it to him and he's like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I'm wondering about that too, because I don't know if he's still employed by the DA's office, because there's some rumblings that maybe he says at one point in this hearing that he is not with the DA's office anymore and hasn't been since like before the Karen Reed second trial. So I don't know what's true, what's not true. Maybe we can find just a little clip of that and listen to that instead of suffering through 4 hours of him gargling marbles and trying to get out a sentence. So I don't know. It's unclear at this point to me. He is really that lazy. He is Johnny Paycheck. That's it. Look at Dexter Savis from the Commonwealth had a short conversation with Rosemary in court last week, and before she said bye, she thanked her for taking Proctor down. She said, "Oh, Proctor took himself down." I mean, that's true, right? That's true. I mean, as far as I know, Karen Reed was his last case. Has he worked on anything since? But he sat right next to Brennan like the entire time. Sally Joe says the judge referring to Proctor's use of slurs, evidence of discrimination and bias as strongly held views is concerning. It's true, right? Yeah, I can't believe it's been a year either. Proctor got waffled. Proctor's bottomless drawer says, I can't believe it's been over a year. Remember, he didn't think he should have to take the stand. Yeah, he didn't. And Krupp gave him a pass, and it's a year later, and we're still here. Hope we laugh as much as we did reading Turtle Boy's New Jersey complaint. I don't know. We represent the Lollipop Guild, says known to 3. He sits like a man who has no self-respect, says Paul's over there. Thanks for hanging in there, says Rosalie. You're welcome. You're welcome. Can't say how long I'll be here, but we'll see. Thank you for you, says Jen. I appreciate you. And Sleepwatcher says, hang in there. I appreciate you. Your lives and long-form lives so much. They're making it harder. YouTube is making it harder and harder and harder to be a long-form content creator because they're, first of all, striking everyone who they think is like violating whatever policy they deem to be violated at the time, which is BS, because today was total BS. But they're also pushing people towards shorts and AI type videos, which is also BS, but whatever. We'll hang in here as long as we can. He literally is phoning it in for however many years, right? He just sat there next to Brennan. Right. And people are saying, when I say $140 is not a lot of money in Boston, people are like, oh my God, you're so pretentious. I'm like, you don't understand how Boston, I think, is more expensive to live in than New York City. It has historically been one of the top 3 most expensive places to live in the US. Okay. When I don't say that lightly. I don't know that you can live on $140 grand a year in Norfolk County. I just don't know if you can. Tell me if I'm wrong. Oh, you got struck too, Emily, for showing a clip from Law and Crime. But it wasn't Law and Crime that was doing it because Bob Mata went on live and he said when it happened to Lally, he texted Kathy Russin from Law and Crime and said, why are you guys striking people? And she's like, we're not doing it. It's not us. So I don't know.
26 notices that started to file. Did you ever have any idea what was contained in the Milton police files?
No, other than I was told that I had everything they had.
Okay. And in terms of discovery, so let's talk about police reports. So all of these police reports that are generated in 2025 by the Milton Police Department after ADA Hickman went and actually looked at the file, you understand that there was a number of police reports dated on the date of the incident or shortly thereafter that were never turned over to the defense. You understand that, right?
I understand there's one. I don't know about
You only knew that there was one.
that was my understanding.
So you thought there was one police report missing from Milton, not a bunch of police reports that ADA Hickman turned up when she actually went through the file.
My understanding is as far as police reports, there was one.
What about documents? How many documents did ADA Hickman copy and turn over to the defendant after she reviewed the Milton file? Do you know?
I don't.
Did anyone ever go back to you and ask you why these weren't turned over to the defendant?
No.
Did you ever talk to ADA Hickman and try to explain why these weren't turned over to the defendant?
As far as why, why documents, I was aware of those that weren't turned over.
Like, okay, so why weren't you aware? Did anyone ask you that? How did you not aware of these reports? Nobody from the district attorney's office asked you why you weren't aware of these reports?
Sustained.
Did Attorney Hickman ask you why you weren't aware of these reports?
Sustained.
In any event, the reports get turned over in 2025, and you think it's one report that gets turned over in 2025. Is that your understanding of the late disclosures in this case?
My understanding as far as the police report is.
Were there
Remember, he was in custody since 2021, and they decided not to turn over police reports since 2025 that were in the file. And those objections were for hearsay.
Other documents that were, to your knowledge, taken from the Milton file that weren't turned over?
Your Honor,
You may be heard. There's been a number of motions discovered to speak for themselves.
Right, I'm not sure I understand the relevance of what he knew about later disclosures by others.
Because he said there was one document, Judge. There's way more than one document, so I was going to get it.
But I don't understand what his knowledge in 2025 of later disclosures, how that's relevant to the question of why that stuff wasn't turned over.
Well, because he said it was one document, Judge, I need to make a record of what was actually turned over by A.D. Hickman.
All right, the record already exists in the file of what was turned over.
So are you saying that the court will take the Commonwealth's notice of discovery 28 as evidence in this case, Judge?
I don't see why not.
All these notices of discovery are part of the record.
Right.
Additionally, I think have to work it. I don't want to go off on this tangent. We have those charts. I remember the last one that we prepared. Well, let's do.
Okay, that wasn't yet marked, but we can do
that.
Yep.
So
That attorney that's standing up, that's sitting at the prosecutor's table with the blue suit on, does anybody know if he is Lally's private attorney? Or does he work for the Norfolk DA's office? I have a feeling that he's Lally's attorney, because I would think that he would need a personal attorney for this. At least one who specializes in ethics and grievances.
have you ever withdrawn from representing the Commonwealth in this case?
as far as the formal motion, no.
So you're still an attorney of record, right?
No, I don't believe I'm on the docket or this is counsel record on.
So when did you withdraw?
So she's asking him if he ever withdrew as counsel of record for the Commonwealth. And he said no, but he says he's not working there anymore. This is the important part. I got to hear that again. Of course, if he could spit the marbles out of his mouth, we'd hear him better, but.
Representing the Commonwealth in this case. So have you ever withdrawn from representing the Commonwealth in this case?
As far as the formal motion, no.
So you're still an attorney of record, right?
No, I don't believe I'm on the docket or this is counsel record on.
So when did you withdraw?
I haven't been counsel of record. He never filed a formal motion, but he's going to say, I haven't been counsel of record since.
Again, did I file a formal motion to withdraw? No, but whether or not, but I'm not counsel of record for the case.
So when did you stop being counsel of record for the Commonwealth?
I believe it was in November, December of 2024.
2024.
I think he was. I think people are misconstruing what he's saying. He was taken off the Myles King case in like November, December, I think 2024, and that's when it was reassigned to Hickman. I don't think it was that he stopped working for the DA's office altogether. So I think that people are misreporting that when they're putting it out there into the social media universe.
It that early 25.
Okay. But you did file a motion to withdraw.
I don't think so.
And you showed up at all the hearings when you weren't on trial when you carried reading on it, right?
During 2024.
24, 25.
25, no.
You didn't show up at any of the hearings in 25.
No.
Sure about that?
That's why I said I'm sure.
Okay. In any event,
I'm sure there's video of him showing up at the hearings in 2025, right?
with respect to the state police, you said you spoke to Trooper Proctor, you asked him for everything, he sent you information, and ultimately you turned that over. Is that right?
Correct.
All right, let's talk about the search warrants. We realized that there were search warrants that were contained in the file dating back to 2021 that weren't turned over, right?
Contained in what file?
I'm sorry?
Contained in what file?
The state police file?
let's have a question from the beginning.
Sure. Can I put you around?
Yes.
Can you look at these documents and tell me you recognize them? Yeah, 2021 search warrants. The second package for 2022. Yes. In terms of what?
Generally speaking, yes.
Generally speaking, you recognize them?
Generally speaking, I recognize it.
Okay.
And what do you recognize them to be?
They appear to be search warrants related to Mr. King's matter.
Related to what?
Related to Mr. King's matter.
Okay. And is it fair to say that these search warrant number, let me ask you, is it fair to say that these search warrants appear to be dated July 11th of 2021?
I didn't look at the date, but I'll take a look for it.
Just, at least the dates say search warrants. These all dates say.
Yes, I think they're all, they start at 282, I believe. Dates start 282.
Thank you.
Would you like to introduce the search warrants?
Any objection?
No.
All right.
Yes. Did you see how thick that stack of papers is? Look at how thick. Look at the search warrants in her hands. That's like 3 inches thick. Those are the search warrants from 2021. They had them at the grand jury when they indicted Myles King. The date of the killing was 7/10/21. They've had him since then, and he just never turned him over. And look at him. Looks like a little baby sitting in that chair. It's like all slumped over with his hands clasped in his lap and his like legs all spread. He's spreading his whole load right there on that little baby high chair. What are we doing here? Hold on, let's take this down because that's a good screenshot for later.
Any objection?
No.
All right.
Well, we knew before the last hearing that he had been taken off the case because that was his whole excuse. He's like, I don't have access to the file anymore. I can't look at the file because, it hasn't been my case since like last November. And the hearing that we watched the first time was in July or August of 2025.
Yes.
Grant Smith Ellis on the equipment. Thank you, Grant.
And you understand that Trooper Proctor that he asked for certain information, and assuming, right? 691.
I believe that was your client's cell phone symbol, yes?
Okay. And you understood that he had gotten permission to do a search, is that right?
There were, I think, 4 warrants pertaining to your clients.
So is that a yes? You understood that there were warrants that were signed off on by a district court judge for information in this case, right?
Yes.
Okay. And when you looked at the discovery as it was being sent to you from Trooper Proctor, did you realize you didn't have the search warrants?
No.
Objection to the formal question. Just want to be clear on,
There is a timing part.
or just what portion of the issues.
Well, you can take care of that across, right?
Let's just be clear about the question. You have one there? I haven't seen it hitherto. Let me take a look.
Thank you. Judge, I didn't have the copy. You can read along if you want with that copy.
Yeah, give him a copy. Let him read
Material
along.
I have here that you handed us. Some of it is Bates numbered, but some of it is not. Some of it is clearly not search warrant affidavits. I don't know what this stuff is.
Sorry, Judge?
Some of this is search warrant, some of it's not. Some of it is underlying documents. I don't know what those underlying documents are. Maybe they're exhibits in an affidavit. I have no idea. They're not all Bates numbered. So I just want to make sure that there's no objection to this document. I know we just admitted it, that there were representations about what it was.
Right, I think it was all search warrant checks.
All right, so you can hand this back to the ADA.
Yeah, that's fine. The Commonwealth wants to introduce their copy of Sergeant Hickman.
Hang on 1 second, we're gonna see what we're gonna introduce.
Oh, is it?
So should we,
So let's just replace it with yours, that's fine.
I agree that we're going to replace exhibit 2.
Okay,
The copy of the
we'll mark this as exhibit 2, Attorney Scapicchio. Let's take that sticker off of the document that I just gave back to you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Exhibit 2,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now,
Mr. Lally.
go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Lally, you understood when you reviewed the materials that Trooper Proctor was sending you that they didn't contain the search warrants that you knew had been issued, right?
Sorry, when I reviewed the material?
Yeah, you said when you got the materials from Trooper Proctor, you would immediately review them, and that same day. Okay, so when you reviewed the materials that Trooper Proctor gave you from the state police, you had to have known that the search warrants weren't there, right?
I didn't.
You did?
I did not.
You did not.
And I realized that I took copies and sent it to counsel.
So did Trooper Proctor give you the search warrants and you just didn't turn them over? Or are you saying Trooper Proctor never turned them over to you?
No, as far as what I provided to you, as far as discovery was concerned related to search warrants, is what I had been provided by Mr. Proctor. I know that there was at least at one point a conversation in reference to, there was a partial affidavit, but an affidavit without an application return and copy of the warrant itself. And I never received it, therefore you didn't get it.
But you know what I was looking for. Did you call Trooper Proctor and say, hey, there's 6 search warrants outstanding. Can you get me those, please?
I would disagree with that. I did not know that you were looking for it. I don't think it ever once came up as far as our conversations regarding discovery versus 2021 search warrants.
So are you saying that search warrants on Rule 14 discovery, sir?
I'm not saying that the onus is on you at all. I'm just saying when you say that you knew I was looking for it, I didn't, because we never talked about it once.
Well, we talked about getting all the exculpatory evidence from Mr. King, didn't we? We talked about that on a number of occasions, right?
Hold on. One question at a time. Which one do you want?
We talked about getting exculpatory evidence from Mr. King, right?
As far as your file motions to that effect, yes.
But you don't have to wait for a defendant to file motions. You know you have an independent obligation to turn over information to a defendant under the Constitution, right? And under Rule 14, right?
Yes.
So you didn't need a motion to say we needed search warrants, but if you needed one, Exhibit 1 also asks for search warrants, doesn't it? So did you read Exhibit 1 at all?
Right now, no, I didn't.
Did you read it when you got it?
Of course, yes.
She's so pissed, and she has every right to be. She's like, you never even looked at this? She's like, you and I had conversations about you turning over discovery and search warrants. Like, you had conversations with me. How dare you sit up there on your baby high chair and tell me that we never had conversations about this? You are under oath, jackass. Baby shark, boss baby, Johnny Paycheck. We had conversations about you turning this shit over. You never turned it over. Is it that Proctor just didn't give it to you, or that you didn't care, or you didn't just trusted him, or what? Proctor never gave it to him. And that's the reason why Proctor is going to have to come back on the 14th of September and sit right in that baby high chair and answer her questions. And by the way, this is 4 hours long, and he's not done yet. He has to come back and testify. Has anybody watched this? Can anybody just bullet point this for us? Because I don't think I can sit here for 4 hours and listen to this. Yeah, because people are just complaining. And at this point, it's not fun anymore. I wanted to make it fun. I wanted to think it would be fun, but it's not really fun when all I'm watching is complaints come in the chat. It's not fun. Let me see if I can find any highlights on a different media that we can watch. And maybe where is the trial channel? Can they do the Lord's work? Yeah. I feel like nobody can hear it, and I can't. My finger is getting tired from putting the button up and down. I mean, I'll let it go for a few minutes longer, but.
And do you have a memory of whether or not we asked for all search warrants that were issued?
Do I remember now? It's in the motion that you filed on December 21.
Okay. Do you remember the motion asking for?
Here's the thing. I'll talk more than they will, so I'll try and explain it to you. It doesn't matter if they make a motion for discovery or not. They don't have to make a motion. They shouldn't need to make a motion. It is automatic. Okay. Rule 14 provides in Massachusetts that a prosecutor has the obligation to automatically turn over all discovery to the defense. They shouldn't have to make a motion. They shouldn't have to ask them to preserve all the evidence. They shouldn't have to remind them not to crack their SIM cards in half and destroy their phones on a military base. They shouldn't have to ask them to please hang on to all relevant evidence. It is an obligation that is automatic. That's why it's called automatic disclosure. But he doesn't care. They don't pay him enough to care. They don't pay him enough to care. I think really, I think that's what it is. I'm not going to play Billy Bush's interview with Alan Jackson, but again, if you'd like to go watch it there, you can. I don't play other people's content unless they give me permission, like Grant Smith Ellis. Aloha, mahalo. It's only 1 p.m. here. I could be outside laying by the pool. I could be outside laying by the pool instead I'm listening to this guy gargle marbles. Is Trial Channel gonna be on it? Do you know? No, he is working there. That is a misconception. We just replayed it twice. He is working there still, but he's no longer on the Myles King case. A lot of people took what he said there and ran with it in a different direction. He's still working there. He's just no longer attorney of record on Myles King. That case was taken away from him and given to, I think, Jennifer Hickman, ADA Jennifer Hickman, before the second Karen Reed trial. So in between trial 1 and trial 2, I think it was like November. I remember from the first hearing, it was like October, November 2024. He was no longer the attorney of record on the King case. He still works for the DA's office, as I know. If Trial Channel gets the Zoom feed, the audio will be better. But since I wasn't on the Zoom feed today with you live or whatever, we couldn't watch it. And this also conflicted with the Lindsay Clancy case. But sometimes they will do it.
All documents, all chart tapes, all work reports. Do you remember that?
Objection.
What's that objection?
What's that objection?
It's been marked as an exhibit.
Yeah.
Anyway, you didn't realize that you had turned over the search warrants until when, sir?
I was made aware of this after the statement.
So sometime in 2025, you realized that you didn't turn over the search warrants?
Yes.
And at that point, does anyone go to you and say, why didn't you turn over the search warrants?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you have a conversation with ADA Hickman regarding the search warrants?
Objection.
Yes or no?
Yes.
And did you indicate to her any reason why you wouldn't have turned over these search warrants?
Objection.
Sustained.
Because the judge doesn't care about the reason. The reason's not important, just the fact that he didn't do it. I have a good idea. Here's a good idea. Fervent did a video. Praise be for Fervent. It's a little, oh, look at the freeze frame on Lally. Let's watch Fervent's recap of it. Language warning, because I did listen to it earlier. So there's a little bit of language in it. I try not to use language. If you're on a public TV, go do it. I mean, maybe take it off the public TV. Let's watch Fervent's video. It's the recap of this.
We are back in Get 'em the belly of the beast, Norfolk Superior Courthouse, where videos are inverted, evidence is withheld, and cops are protected. Today, there was an evidentiary hearing in the Myles King case. This is one of the cases that brought to light all of Michael Proctor's racist, sexist, homophobic text messages. The bailiff opens the door and we hear Adam Lally pumping himself up with some music.
Fuck you, hey, think you're better than me? Fuck you, hey, you are not Lally.
Adam Lally's like, you know what? I'm going to stand for the entirety of this questioning. Judge Krupp is like, no, you will not. Please assume the posture of a hermit crab molting out of its shell. We immediately stumble out of the gate as Lally has not reviewed the relevant case file, even though he's had an entire year to do so. Then we get to a really interesting part. Stop me if this sounds familiar. Apparently, Adam Lally presented edited/clipped footage in front of the grand jury, and that footage was given to him by Michael Proctor.
Wow. He used edited video in front of the grand jury, and that was given to him by Michael Proctor. This is going to be explosive. Instead of 4 hours of watching that and trying to, pick out all the good parts, let's just pick out the good parts that Fervent picked out. Did Microdots do one too? Microdots did another video, but I don't think it had to do with this. Edited video. Wow. You think, considering that the grand jury for Myles King was in 2021, and then the grand jury for Karen Reed wasn't until 2022, do old habits die hard? Surprise! Surprise!
We know what happened in Turtle Boy's grand jury with Tully and the labeling of certain folders called intent. We know the inverted video that was presented in the Karen Reed trial. So this is apparently just what they do there. And I have to give a shout out, a very rare shout out to Judge Beverly Cannoni, because she definitely would have told Lally to speak up at least 25 times during this testimony. We stop early. We only go till 1 o'clock because it's Norfolk County. After the hearing, we discuss next steps. It's implied that Michael Proctor is going to plead the fifth. Whether he can or not is still up for debate. Rosemary, outside the courthouse after the hearing, noted that Proctor did not plead the fifth in the civil deposition where Jackson and company were questioning Proctor about these racist messages. So if he didn't invoke the fifth in his deposition in the civil case, he can't invoke the fifth in the criminal case. So all that's going to have to be flushed out. So mark this date down on your calendar, September 14th, 3 p.m. Michael Proctor will be in the house. You know the motto, but like, but comment, but subscribe. And please don't think of doing weird butt stuff to your spouse while she sleeps. We are back in Get 'Em.
So that's interesting. People are saying also that it was ring video footage that was altered. So do you think that they wouldn't alter ring video footage in the Karen Reed case? Or maybe some, I don't know, video footage from, let's say, the waterfall. That could have been altered because we know that Colleen, what the hell's her name? Colleen Crawford was involved. Interesting. Crawford. Her name's Crawford. Colleen Crawford. And Fanning were involved in, perhaps. Did they seize the entire cam system from the waterfall? Did they alter or did they dispose of any ring camera footage from John O'Keefe's ring cameras? Because remember the camera that was the footage that was missing. The footage of Karen Reed arriving home that night, that just mysteriously disappeared. And we know someone looked at it because they wrote it down in their notes that they had. And we also know that the footage was missing from the time that, let's see, we saw all the girls go in the house and come out of the house too, right? But the video of Karen Reed arriving home, that just sort of disappeared, didn't it? Yeah, so it looked like they turned. So seems like perhaps if I had a timestamp on this, it'd be easier if Trial Channel does it It'll be easier. Let me see if there's any other clips over here. Let me go back to the Boston 25 article because maybe they wrote about it in their article. Oh, please. I'll play him for a little while until I can find like an actual reporter who like wrote an article instead, because it's very difficult. Let's just see this for a minute.
Have you heard of this?
Yes.
Right, the library footage disappeared. They changed cameras at John's house, all of it, all that stuff that's missing. And they were trying to say that Karen Reed was the one who disposed of the video. Yep.
So,
right, and the original video that they said they had of the incident, that never appeared either.
in addition to the haphazard discovery practice for the district attorney's office with respect to this witness, I'm trying to establish that the office itself had no policies and no follow-up when discovery was disclosed late. And the only way I can do that is to ask him about the conversations he had with E.A. Hickman, who's also going to be a witness in this case, Judge, about what happened. Because I'm assuming, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that they would have had some conversation saying, how'd you miss it?
Okay, the objection is still sustained.
So you remember having a conversation with A.D.A. Hickman, is that right?
Yes.
Were you shown the search warrants?
I don't see the relevance of whether he was shown search warrants in 2025.
Because of this,
They
they go
were
to challenge.
disclosed in 2025. The question is, what was his practice and why didn't he disclose it before?
Right.
Right.
Getting there.
Okay, go ahead.
This is a motion to dismiss the entire case of Myles King, the entire murder case, based on prosecutorial misconduct because Lally and Proctor and others did not turn over exculpatory evidence in a timely fashion. And sometimes and I'm not saying that he's guilty. Look, innocent until proven guilty. Always, always, always. Zoe says, sounds to me like the deathbed declaration of who shot the victim likely was cropped, chopped, edited, and falsified. Well, there it is, the dying declaration, right? That's why she wants to get that cop on the stand, because I guess they have body cam footage of that. Of him saying, oh, it was, who shot you? Who shot you? Missy Cash, Missy Cash. Yeah, no video from Kelleher's house. That just disappeared. Look at him. I mean, just look at this. He's badly beaten, bruised. Not just his ego, all of it. Sometimes it takes one potentially guilty person to go free to teach an organization or an office like this a message. Teach them a lesson. Because maybe then people will start to care if there's a potential, murderer running around outside who might have been caught on camera doing it. I don't know. But what this goes to show is that they were doing this for at least 1 year before John O'Keefe was murdered. And they just don't care. He just doesn't care. He does the bare minimum. Allison says, this is so absurd. My mind is having trouble coping and I've jumped the shark. Lally's playing 4D chess. Thanks, Anomaly, for your 5. Mark says, you're the best. I've been a member for 4 months, but been watching you right after the Johnny Depp trial. I didn't cover that. I wasn't on YouTube when Johnny Depp trial happened. That was pre-me. I've made the decision not to listen to YJ because of that trash talk. You're my core coverage person. You're classy. Thank you, Paisley Chicken, for your 5. Sleepwatcher, thank you. Thank you, Phil. How do you look that good on no sleep? I door dashed myself a ring light. Thank you so much. He only understands questions that begin with what, if anything. Oh, that explains it. Thank you, Lola. You're such a good dog. Mara says, it's just after midnight and I have to get back to school, kids, tomorrow. They're getting told to blame Aunt Melanie. Welcome, Nancy. I wouldn't watch this barbecue with anyone else, says Jessica. Good thing Melanie has Tiny Mary with her for the double stream today. Be sure to hit the like button. Whoop, whoop. Oh, Mrs. Parks is here. Mrs. Parks sent me a very, very generous Venmo. Thank you. I love you so much. I love you with all my heart. Peter Murphy was in court today. Apparently. And Mrs. Parks again says, do you think Lally borrowed meds from some of the Haas witnesses to sit in his tiny high chair today? Also, is anyone else being so distracted by the high chair that you think we're watching baby Lally AI? I mean, well, you know what? I think that's a great idea. Let's watch some baby AI videos. Because, you know, nobody does it better than KarenReedChild.ai. We all need a good laugh, don't we? I know I do. Are you ready for it? This goes back to Karen Reed Day 37.
It's day 36 of the Karen Reed trial.
Having anything to do before Beverly Cannoni. Everybody's hoping that the verdict comes in at 2:27, but I don't think Karen Reed would mind if the verdict comes in earlier.
I don't know what it means. What if anything it means? It's 2:03 p.m.
It's 2:09. It's 2:09.
Wait, that was me. Did you see baby me? Hold on. Let's rewind. Let's rewind for me. Look, that's baby me. Look what a nice job she did with my colorful background, different colors and all. Oh, that's little baby Melanie. Look.
Everybody's hoping that the verdict comes in at 2:27, but I don't think Karen Reed would mind if the verdict comes in earlier.
I don't know what it means. What if anything it means? It's 2:03 p.m.
It's 2:09. It's 2:09 on the East Coast. Let's do that 2:27, baby.
The verdict clock continues to tick. We're wasting time. Killing time.
Well, we knew it was going to be a chaotic day today, didn't we? We saw that one in the forecast. I'm so anxious.
Really nervous. Anything is possible at this point. I would just be surprised if they didn't actually announce a verdict.
Ooh, a little bit of anxiety.
So it might be another jury question. Maybe that they're deadlocked.
I have some clarifying questions, like what and the fuck?
Look at baby Runkle laughing.
What the frig is happening? They were in the building. Why is this taking so long?
It's wild. Like, I've never seen that many people out there.
20 hours. It's been 20 hours.
So we are on verdict watch. I would think if it is a verdict, they would say that.
In Karen Reed, the parties have been summoned back to court. I'm spiraling more than the fan.
I don't know. Somebody's saying the parties are coming back to court. And all the parties have been called back to the courtroom right now.
Clutch, clench, clutch, clench.
Oh, man. This is a big day.
It's extremely emotional. I can't even read the tweets. I'm so emotional.
Stop.
Oh, that baby Bettero's is so cute.
Stop it. Stop it. Immediately.
I haven't peed in like 3 hours, so I can't. Like, if I pee, the world's going to end.
Do not take this stream into the bathroom, sir. We do not need a stream on a stream. It's
I think everybody's nervous.
There are thousands of people standing outside in anticipation.
Jackson is pacing.
That's Brandy Churchwell. I was like, who's that? Oh, wait, who's this? Who's this?
Dude, it's a big day. It was the biggest day of my life.
All families are here now.
We have been waiting for this moment for 2.5 years. Tweets Aiden Carney.
Well, she looks all business.
Oh, that was supposed to be Jimmy? Oh, okay. Hold on. It doesn't look like okay.
Thousands of people standing outside in anticipation.
Jackson is pacing.
Well, dude, it's a big day.
Oh, I guess Jimmy had short hair back then, huh? Back in the Karen Reed acquittal day?
It was the biggest day.
But baby Jimmy has pink hair.
In my life.
All families are here now.
We have been waiting for this moment for 2.5 years. Tweets Aiden Carney.
Well, she looks all business.
I gotta remember to breathe. I always forget to breathe.
Definitely breathe.
Here we go.
Good, here we go.
Here we go.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the 12 deliberating jurors and 6 alternates.
Yeah.
Clerk Jim. Baby Cannoni.
Stand quiet.
Yes.
Mr. Foreman, members of the jury, have you agreed upon a verdict?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman, at the verdict.
Oh, there he is, Charlie DeLoach. Hold on, I gotta put Charlie DeLoach in the corner. I might cry. I'm not crying, you're crying. Hold on, where's Charlie DeLoach? We gotta put him up in the corner. All right, Charlie, there you are. Pray to Charlie. Okay, you ready?
Been placing this envelope and have they been in your presence ever since?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you? 002, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
Leaving the scene after accident resulting in death, is the defendant not guilty or guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman?
Not guilty.
All right, jurors, everybody please be seated.
It happened, and we freed Karen Reed.
Oh my God, is that baby DePetro? Did you guys see what Reddington called him, a little weasel, the other day? Wait, is this supposed to be DePetro? Hold on.
Karen Reed.
That baby Aiden, a biased weasel.
Karen Freed. Hear ye. We the law nerds of the chat.
I'm glad that I can do my part in helping everybody understand this and bringing awareness.
And my face is puffed to the max. Will call me Puff the Magic Kim today. I've cried. I've hugged. I've laughed. And then I'm back to crying again, lovies. This case is closed. Bye, lovies.
Okay, wait. This is actually she's got a YouTube channel. Hold on, I'm going to show you because it's
day 36
I don't really do TikTok.
of the Karen Reed.
Actually, the fake me on TikTok has more followers on TikTok than I do. I don't have time to check social media every single day, and I feel like here it is, Karen Reed Trial.ai official on YouTube. I mean, should we watch another one? I feel like we should watch another one. But before we do that, let's just read the Boston 25. The Boston 25 article on what happened today with Adam Lally on the stand. Ex-Trooper Michael Proctor, focus of pretrial hearing in murder case. Maybe Ted Daniel will tell us all the important things. So in Dedham, Mass. today, a high-stakes hearing centered on disgraced former Massachusetts State Police Detective Michael Proctor continued Thursday at Norfolk Superior Court in Dedham as defense attorneys pushed to have murder charges against Myles King of Milton thrown out. King is charged in the 2021 shooting death of Marquis Simmons in Milton. His attorney, Rosemary Scapicchio, argues the investigation was tainted by Proctor before he was suspended and later fired for conduct that began to surface during the first Karen Reed trial. Norfolk Assistant District Attorney Adam Lally returned to the stand for hours, more than a year after he was called to testify in the ongoing motion to dismiss proceedings. Lally previously served as the lead prosecutor in the King case when former Trooper Michael Proctor was the lead investigator. Scapicchio questioned Lally directly about whether he was aware of offensive statements and potential racial bias involving the former investigator. Story continues below trending shorts. So, okay. Scapicchio, were you aware of any biases and racist beliefs held by Trooper Proctor? Lally, no, that was never communicated to me. I see, I can do a dramatic reading too. The defense maintains that the murder charges against King should be dismissed not only because of Proctor's handling of search warrants and other evidence, but also because of alleged racist text messages and voicemails linked to the former trooper. Well, again, I know that mainstream media likes to be like safe. There's nothing allegedly racist about those text messages. They are 100% racist. Okay? They're not allegedly racist. Am I right? They are 100% racist. I don't think there's anything that's ever been any more racist, anti-Semitic, misogynistic, hatred for special needs people. They're not allegedly, they are 100% racist. Maybe you could say they allegedly belong to Michael Proctor, but they were 100% racist. Following the hearing, Scapicchio told investigative reporter Ted Daniel she reviewed a voicemail Proctor allegedly sent to friends. One of them was the comment where he said, slow roll it to an accident because it involved a black person. Scapicchio said, what I wanted to do with that information is ask this witness, as the prosecutor in the case, had he known that Proctor held these views. I mean, come on. Proctor had all kinds of group text messages. Do you mean to tell me that Lally was not involved in any of these group messages? Judge Peter Krupp denied Scapiccio's request to play the recording. Okay, well, that's 4 hours of our lives we can take back by not listening to it. Prosecutors, however, pushed back against assertions that the district attorney's office withheld evidence or mishandled discovery. Assistant District Attorney Michael McGee, that answers my question. He's not Lally's private lawyer. He's Michael McGee. Led Lally through logs of evidence turned over during the prosecution, presenting documents on screen and asking Lally to confirm whether he had reviewed and shared them with defense counsel. Oh, so what they did was they went over all the stuff that Lally did turn over as if that's good enough. I mean, what do you want from him? He doesn't get paid enough to care. He did turn over all this other stuff. Yeah, not the stuff that was potentially exculpatory. Lally testified that he turned over the evidence provided to him by Proctor and confirmed the dates the items were shared. No ruling on the motion to dismiss was issued Thursday. Lally remained on the stand when proceedings ended for the day and is expected to return when the hearing resumes. Judge Peter Krupp set the next hearing date for September, and there's September what? We know it's the 14th. When Scapicchio said he plans to call Proctor himself to the stand, or she plans to call Proctor to the stand herself. That's what she's going to do. There was a clip somewhere that I saw of Rosemary's comments after court. Here, let's go here again. Grant Smith Ellis, thank you for doing the Lord's work. I'm sorry that we can't listen to his whole entire thing, but I think after 4 hours of that, we might all go crazy. But if we weren't all crazy, we'd all go insane. Name that tune. Here he is outside the courthouse today. That was only today. This is only today. Oh my God. This feels like it was a week ago. Here you go. This is her comments outside the courthouse. And this is her lovely daughter, Nicole, in the blue dress and sweater.
Hi, how are you? Good.
So you have a date now.
The 14th, for Trooper Proctor to show up.
And what is your thought on that in terms of him actually coming in?
Well, we're going to notify his lawyer that he's been ordered to be here, and then we'll see what happens from whether or not he's going to comply with the court order.
In terms of the recordings that you wanted to play, can you talk about them?
I can talk about the recordings. They were some audio recordings that he had left on a group chat that he was involved in that entailed racist comments and jokes that he had with his friends. One of them was the comment where he said, slow roll it to an accident because it involves a black person. So what I wanted to do with that information is ask this witness, as the prosecutor in the case, had he known that Proctor held those views, would he have kept Proctor on the case? But the judge indicated that because this witness said he didn't know about these, that I couldn't ask this witness. I have to do it through my expert, which we intend to do.
Wow, she's got an expert. She's got an electronic expert. Changes in latitude, changes in attitude. You're right. You're right, Julia. Lally's plausible deniability is going to prevent that recording from being played in court. So Rosemary now and Myles King, I believe she's paid. I don't think she's assigned counsel. Someone asked that before. Because Lally just says, yeah, I don't know about that recording. I wasn't involved. I didn't hear that voice memo that he left about slow rolling it to an accident. So she couldn't get it in. Judge wouldn't allow it to be played. So she's going to have to go to her client has to go to the expense of calling in an expert to testify about it so they can play that recording.
Will you need a subpoena for Proctor on the 14th, Rosemary?
No, Proctor has actually already been subpoenaed. He was recognized to appear the last time he was here. So we just need to notify his lawyer of the date.
And you mentioned that your expert will be testifying at trial whether Proctor takes the stand or not.
Yes.
Is that to make sure that these texts are
Well, that's to be able to make sure in the record there is some documentation as to what the texts actually have, what the photos are, what the voicemails are, what the emails are, and how they would have affected a person's ability to do an independent investigation. Because it's our position that once you read these, there's no way that you could ever come to a conclusion that you could have this type of explicit bias against Black and brown people, where you've dehumanized them at every turn, and then you turn around and do an independent investigation that anybody should rely on. We're saying that it's completely unreliable
and that it should be thrown out from the very beginning. And that's why we're asking that the case get dismissed.
What are Michael Proctor's options for trying to fight coming to court on the 14th?
What are his options?
Does he have, can his lawyer come in? And
his lawyer can file whatever his lawyer wants to file, but right at this point, he's a witness in this case. Our whole second supplemental motion to dismiss is about his racism. So the court has said he's relevant to these proceedings, and the court wants to find out whether or not he intends on invoking any type of Fifth Amendment privilege to prevent him from testifying in these proceedings.
Rosemary, where does this?
How's he going to invoke the Fifth? He's not under any criminal charges. Apparently, he's not the target of any investigation, right? If you listen to all the "We Stand with Proctor" people, they can decline. Says, "I'm a cupcake all the way. Thanks for doing this. I love you. I love you more." Hello said, "I'm really, really late, but why does the witness stand look like a picnic table?" Oh, we thought it looked like a high chair, but I'll allow picnic table too. I'll allow it. And look at, no one puts Father Bob in the corner. Oh, are you kidding me? Username of the day. No one puts Father Bob in the corner. Says, I'm on 2 hours sleep because I wanted to watch this flaming with the cupcakes. Good. It's just the audio is not great. Pauline is here. She gifted 5 memberships, but wait, there's more because then she gifted another 20. Pauline, you're amazing. You're amazing. If you were gifted one of the 25 memberships, just tag Pauline and give her a little thank you. It's at Pauline 4227L. If you're on your laptop, you can start typing it in. And you know what really annoys me? Here's just one of the many things that annoys me is that I can't do that on my iPhone. I can't start tagging someone and it auto-populates. Like I have to do the whole thing. So when I'm in other people's chats and I want to tag people that are saying hi to me, I can't do it. So don't think that I'm not saying hi back to you. It's just that you can't do it on your phone. You guys are amazing. Thanks, Pauline. And just got a video of baby Neff. Oh, I love baby videos. I love baby videos, Julia. 28 months. You're a lifer. You're a lifer at this point. Menopause with me says, despite traveling and 3 a.m. alarms, you always look. Oh, that's very sweet of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm cranky though. Can you tell? I apologize for my crankiness, but it is what it is. Let's hear what else she has to say.
Fifth Amendment issue come from?
That's up to him. I don't see a Fifth Amendment. I don't know that he has a Fifth Amendment. My understanding is in the civil case, he was asked questions in the civil case with Karen Reed, and he did not invoke his Fifth Amendment. So, he can't selectively invoke. He can't invoke in the civil case and not invoke or try to invoke in the criminal case. That's not a thing.
That's not a thing. So he did his deposition in the Karen Reed case, whichever case it was. Was it Karen Reed versus everybody? Was it O'Keefe versus Reed? Was it defamation case? I think it was Karen Reed versus everybody, but I don't really know. No, maybe it was in the O'Keefe case. Proctor gave a deposition and he didn't invoke the Fifth at the deposition. So when we're learning, she's telling us everything. It was O'Keefe v. Reed, right? Thank you. Because now that I think of it, there's an anti-SLAPP motion in federal court. The anti-SLAPP motion is so yeah, it was O'Keefe. Okay.
Any other questions I can answer for you?
Thank you, Rosemary.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that is her oh, this is the video I was telling you about, the McLean Hospital one. It's linked below my today's Lindsay Clancy stream. It's really cool. I don't want to play it because they might strike me. But if you're interested in old historical buildings, this video here of McLean Hospital is really cool. It's really cool. Let's go back to some baby AI because I really need to laugh. And I think you do too. I'm going to make the executive decision. Hold on. Your channel, but wait, this was posted June 17th, 2025. Okay. And again, Karen Reed trial.ai official. Your channel, but life's a bitch. That's me. And so am I. And Carmen knows your address.
Yes, we're 5 strong, powerful women, and you can't stop us.
Look at us.
Listen, this is why people watch this trial and say, it's just off. Something is completely off with how they're doing this. And that's why many people think it's a national embarrassment. And there's so much, you just watch this and you can't look away, whether you are a trial watcher or a lawyer, whoever. I mean, you'll never see anything like this again. It's just so bizarre. There's so much mismanagement in just deliberations. I mean, why?
Brennan's nasal polyp says, I just want to hear Bev say one last time after Karen is acquitted, Ms. Reed, you are all set.
If it's a not guilty verdict, it's a choose your own adventure book. What is going on?
What, you know, is it going to be like the last trial? And you know they're talking about that. Right. You know they know about it. It's impossible that they don't know, like, holy shit, this is happening again.
I remember this. We were all on a stream together, and she actually made this video while we were live and dropped it like during the live. It was so, the way she did this so quickly was mind numbing. Do you remember that? It was me, Better O'Glair. I think we were all on the screen together, and she did it.
We are disgraced, and we've opened our mouths, and we have stood tall, okay? And those are things that there have been many of folk that have wanted us to shut up and not have our opinion.
Right.
And the reality is, if that influences them or certain jurors to make a decision one way or the other on the OUI, that's not justice at all. If that's what makes them vote not guilty or guilty on that count, just to avoid this, they ought to be voting on the evidence and the evidence only. And this has been twisted into a complete convoluted mess in the exact same way the first case was. And it's as if they learned nothing. It did nothing right after the first trial to correct it. And it comes back to one person. And she's sitting in the black robe.
Every American following this case right now should be infuriated with what they're seeing. Yeah. Every American following this case right now should be infuriated. This should not happen in the United States of America.
Which is not justice. A jury should never be thinking about, I'm afraid if I do this, this is what will happen. That's not an evidentiary fact-finding trip that they're supposed to be doing. And at this point, you don't know what the hell the jury is doing or why they're doing it. And you're officially in crazy town with this. You don't know what's going on. The jury doesn't understand. The lawyers don't understand. And the DA says, Judge, whatever you decide, I'm cool with. That's where we are.
Feeling positive about this jury. I like that foreman. Saw him with my own eyes. Okay. Saw him with my own eyes. He's a big man.
And there he is. If you're not watching the screen, you have to watch the screen for these. You just have to pull over, put down your mail carrier bag. Well, it's probably too late for mail. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what day it is anymore. But look at Charlie DeLoach. He's above me, and he's in the video next to me. You got to say, this is the foreman. Kim was enthralled by him. She's like, I saw him in person. He's a snack.
And he's a big man with dreadlocks and chains. We will stand up for justice.
Oh my God, so good. Stop. Don't take us to, oh look, it actually suggested the video of me that we're watching right now. Okay, here's the full, let's see, this is 5 minutes long. Let's watch this one. This is the full video of juror number 1 from Karen Reed trial, Charlie DeLoach. How apropos.
Just explain, take us into this jury room and how the jury came to the conclusion it did.
Oh, did Savannah Guthrie Savannah Guthrie did an interview with Charlie DeLoach? I forgot about that.
Collectively together, we looked at all the evidence that we was presented with, and we made our decision off of that. We didn't, at first, some had their own personal opinions on what the case should be or whatever, and was like a personal feelings and stuff like that. And we had to stick to what evidence we had in front of us and go with that. So it was more or less just trying to figure out that part. And it took us a couple of days to really get the gears going, but when we did, it was smooth trails after that.
To that point, the evidence, was there a singular piece of evidence that seemed to move the majority of the jurors in the room, or were there multiple pieces?
It just was it was the whole case altogether, all the pieces, testimony, witnesses, and it just a lot together. And people had questions. We used the evidence to answer their questions, and we didn't try to go down these rabbit holes where we're just getting lost in what all these other things that was thrown at us in court or whatever, and we just had to walk down and figure it out through the evidence.
Sir, I asked one of your other fellow jurors this question. It's a very fine distinction. In your opinion, is Karen Reed innocent? She didn't do this? Or is it just that the prosecutors did not put on enough evidence to convict?
Karen Reed is innocent, and she didn't do this crime. No one could prove that she did this crime, so I looked at her from day one as an innocent woman that needed to be proven guilty, and I don't think any of that was shown in this process.
And that's the way the system is supposed to work. Every single person sitting in that defendant's chair is innocent. Every single person is innocent until if and when proven guilty. Every single one of them. Hates me, says, I can't watch the Clancy trial, so I've really missed you. Thanks for all you do, and get down to that. Thank you so much for your 10. It's been a hard trial. It's been a hard trial. I mean, like, you thought the trolls are bad with Karen Reed. It's a whole different level. Amy, thank you so very much for your memo. She just sent me a flower. Marie, thank you very much for your very generous 50. She says, thanks for what you do. How come no higher ups call Lally out for his lack of oomph? Who's going to call him out? Michael Marcy? He's doing exactly what Michael Marcy wants him to do. Who's going to call him out? Greg Conner? Greg Conner wants to be the next DA of Norfolk County. So, I mean, he's doing exactly what Michael Marcy wants. Why would he call him out? I mean, it's a great question. Thank you for your generous Venmo. Amy says, thanks for today. Oh, thank you, Amy. Courtney says, thanks for your amazing coverage and standing strong for PPP and justice for women. I appreciate you so much. Andrea, thank you so much. And Renee says, love you. Congrats again on the 150K. Yeah, we hit 150K in subs today. It was it's a good day. I don't know. I just don't feel like celebrating yet, though. I don't know. I don't know what's happening I don't know what's going to happen with this Lindsay Clancy jury. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I don't think it's going to be quick. I don't think it's going to be quick. Let's let Charlie DeLoach's interview play out.
Sir, to that point, if she didn't do it, who did?
That's not my job. So, I mean, something did happen to Mr. O'Keefe, and it's foul play or whatever you want to say, but there was no evidence to even through multiple witnesses and testimony by his autopsy and everything. It was still no one said to solid evidence that there was a collision or he got hit by a car.
You don't think she hit him with the car at all?
No, I don't. Not with the evidence that was put in front of me and what we heard over everything. No, I don't.
And yeah,
were you aware?
Anyone with common sense knows that John O'Keefe is not hit by a car. Injury, science, physics, all of it. That's right, Mary. I forgot about that. Apparently, Greg Conner left the DA's office, I don't know when, a couple months ago, started his own firms, like hung a shingle. And apparently Laura McLaughlin left also and is working with him. Interesting.
Of just how high profile this case was. There were throngs of people outside in front of the courthouse. I know the jury officers, kept you away from that, but there was a big scream at the end when the verdict was read that was audible in the courtroom. How much did you know about that, and how much, if anything, did that have to do with your process, your deliberations?
I was just going to go with whatever evidence showed us. If it was finding her guilty or finding her not guilty. And we were just going to go with the evidence. And at the end of the day, when I came in on Monday, I established to everyone, I just want everyone to feel like they're heard 100%. Their thoughts, their process is being heard also in that process. And everyone felt at the end of the deliberations that everyone felt good about the decision that we all collectively came together with.
In the end, there is still a mother who lost her son, Officer O'Keefe. What do you think justice would look like for the O'Keefe family?
Someone looking into it further, but looking into it further with the evidence that you already have, and then you finally find a possible person.
The FBI never went away. They're still here. You know how we know? Because they've been here as late as April, May 2026, according to documents that dropped in the Farwell federal case. Julia says, wait, remind me who Connor is. Connor's the attorney who he worked for he did work for the DA's office. He tried the Brian Walsh case. If you watched that trial with me, he was the trial attorney on that case. He's running for Norfolk County DA now. He wants to replace Michael Marcy. Michael Marcy has run unopposed since 2010. I think he's been in that job since 2010.
There's going to be the same complications of all this other stipulations of the evidence and everything else to go along with it. So it's just hard. And to put a mother through that, and a father and a brother and the whole family through that again it's a lot. Even me being there for 8 weeks and 9, and just sitting and watching the videos and seeing the tape and everything, it's a lot to see your loved one go through that. So,
I mean, do you think there's going to be, oops, I want to get Tom Yamas. I want to get struck for Tom Yamas. Anybody think there's going to be anything happening if then Deitch gets selected? Do you think there's going to be something different? He said he's going to start an anti-corruption task force inside the DA's office. That's what he says. And I don't know. I think maybe something could happen. What do you think? What say you? So funny, right? So funny. Hold on. Oh, they're telling me that my Lindsay Clancy video from day 20 is going to be 18 and over because of the SI content in it. But that's just the nature of the trial, man. I don't know what to tell you. Shaq Finley, what if any? Second job for Lally. World's worst auctioneer, right? World's worst auctioneer. OMG. Sarah says, if Greg Connor wins, I wonder how many people will resign or put in for transfers. Lally's not going anywhere. Like, where's he going? He's got his paycheck. He doesn't want to leave. I really think he doesn't want to leave. He's going to be a lifer. If they keep him for life, he will stay for life. Steve says the dots are almost connected. Almost. Yeah, this Lindsay Clancy trial has been long. It's been long. It's been hard. It's a really hard case to cover. It's been heartbreaking on all the levels. I'm just still conflicted about it, but there's to me there's reasonable doubt, and I don't think she should be convicted because of the reasonable doubt. That mostly the Commonwealth has brought out a lot of reasonable doubt in my mind through their experts and their witnesses. In fact, that last expert gave me a lot of reasonable doubt. Right. So Connor hung a shingle and McLaughlin went to work for him, and they're just going to close up shop and come back to the DA's office if he wins. Exactly. But he'll probably hire her and give her a raise, because he'll hire her at a higher position. Jane Ainley says, unfortunately, any actual evidence is most likely gone. Regardless, they need to clean house. You never know. Yes, everyone go watch the latest Microdots. Pauline said card. Remember that? LOL. I may be too tired. K-Shred's throwing stars. Oh, man. That is so funny. We learned that Kevin Reddington in a trial like a long time ago took some of those like martial arts stars and threw them at the wall in a courthouse somewhere, and they had to repaint the wall. He also rides a Harley. What else did we learn about him? We've learned a lot of things about Kevin Reddington. I don't think he likes all this attention. Do you? Do you think that he likes all this attention? I don't think so. I don't think he likes it. Legend has it, the Commonwealth still doesn't know what their theory is in the Lindsay Clancy case. I agree. Oh, Cardi B? Hold on. We can always summon her when we need her.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, I'm here.
If you're here tonight, but you have not been watching the Lindsay Clancy trial, put a 1 in the chat because I'm wondering. I know there was a lot of viewers who couldn't stomach it, and I can't blame you at all. Thank you, Cece. He's being a good sport, but I think he hates it, says Megan. I don't think he likes it either. And I don't think he likes taking selfies with people. But I do notice that when people come up to him, like genuine people, and talk to him about their genuine problems. There was one lady who like drove from Ohio. He stops and he talks to them and he gives them a lot of his time. It's just like all the cameras and all that stuff. I don't think he likes that. Shelby says, are you familiar with Micah Miller? Yes. JP Miller, yes. Wasn't she a victim of, I don't want to misquote the case, but wasn't that like a coercive control type case? The Netflix documentary just came out. Oh, good. Maybe that's something I can do. Per Peter Murphy, Adam Dyke is calling for Lally to resign. Oh. Shreds warmed up to a couple of independent reporters outside the courthouse. Yeah, there's some guy named Court Dog Daniel or something. Is that the one that you're talking about? Court Dog Daniel. He's gone to Sturgis for the motorcycle rally. Yeah, I don't think he likes the attention, really. I heard that they did pick up his quarters. I don't know if it was on camera. We had so many problems with the feed today, and we kept getting cut off. And look at this. Grant Smith Ellis just posted this 3 hours ago. Dear Law and Crime Network /Court TV, when you agree to provide a pool feed for a court case in Massachusetts, that means people need to use your feed in order to cover the case. That's how we operate here. Please do not copyright strike channels that use your pool feed. Thanks. I wonder if they responded to him. And somebody said Bob Motta called Law and Crime. It wasn't them. It was YouTube. Yeah, so I don't know. Somebody said that it could be like the YouTube algorithm when too many people are streaming the same thing at the same time, that it triggers somehow a thing. Maybe it was certain words that were used during the closing. I don't know, but I do know that it was really annoying for everybody that was trying to watch it with me because I kept getting cut off. But it is on replay. Yeah, go Grant, go. Everyone make sure you go sub and like Grant because he provided us with the footage that we watched today. And he also likes Pearl Jam. Oh, and look, Prison MJ says Patrick Reddington's also very kind. I also got to speak with him today for a couple times. He's just like his dad, let me tell you. I love that. Robin says, yes, I watched it later. She knew the quarters were coming, so I think Red used them before in closing. Oh, I laughed when Kate Red asked for a Bowden charge. Yeah, but he called it Bowden. Because Bowden would have been funnier because of those giant, stupid bows. Miss Priss thinks that YouTube is trolling for anyone pro Lindsay Clancy. But I also heard that Surviving the Survivor was also stricken because Joel did say something about it. And people are saying that they were very against pro-prosecution. So I just don't know if that's true. If they're pro-prosecution, I don't know that. And I don't know what had happened. Hi, Stella Blue. Thanks for tuning in live. No, they weren't playing the 911 calls. It was just weird. Steve-O says, if at some point someone is arrested for aiding a cover-up or corruption, that will start the birds singing, in my opinion. Yeah. He was asked Shred was asked how his wife likes her hamburger, and he said, definitely no cheese. She's allergic to cheese. I did see that. And Scott's here, and he says, 20 years ago, I would have picked up the quarters also for video games, right? I noticed that when he slammed the first quarter down, he said, does anybody play pool? And then he threw the first quarter on the table. And anybody who's ever run a pool table knows that that's how you put your money down to get the next game. You play winner if you put your money on the table, and then you get the next game. I just have to go back and watch it. I was so distracted today for so many reasons that I have to go back and watch it to see what prompted him to put the quarter down. What was it that he said before that or after that related to billiards? Yeah, I'm not going to play Billy's feed. I'm not going to play Billy's feed, BB, but you guys can go watch it over there. You can go watch it over there. All right, I'm going to wrap this for now. It's only 2:15 p.m. I thought I would come on, spend a couple of hours here, and then it would be bedtime for me, but it's not. It's a whole day ahead of me. There was a line of officers dressed in blues. That's why he pointed at one point, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he pointed that, and he said, look at all of them over there. And I guess all the cops showed up in the front row in like their uniforms. Diane met court dog Daniel on opening day, sat next to him, and he's retired, and he goes to high-profile court cases and provides content for YouTube channels. STS is one of his clients, travels in a van. Oh, does he live in a van down by the river? Is that why he said, did you sleep in a van? People were surmising that he made a big deal about where they stayed in a private house because maybe they stayed with the prosecutor who bought the Clancy house. I don't know. I also, here's another thing I heard about getting stricken. I also heard that Patrick's attorneys are out there trying to take down channels. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've never said a thing about Patrick other than I have reasonable doubt based on what the Commonwealth has provided about her doing this at all, that there is some reasonable doubt. I could see why people might think that. I do think she actually did the crimes. I just have reasonable doubt about whether she was in her right mind. And so therefore I would have to say not criminally responsible, but word on the street could be that it's Patrick Clancy's lawyers. I don't know if that's true either. All right, you guys. Very Cherry Lou is here, and she says, I'm about to rewatch the live. Thanks for being here for us. Thank you. We just tried to have a little bit of fun tonight because it's been very heavy. It's been a very heavy 21 days. And maybe we can find some highlights of other things that Lally said, but, I think we got the salient points. There's an altered ring camera video given to him by Proctor, and he really didn't care about turning over discovery because, he didn't follow up. He had no system, and I guess that went on for 4 hours, and then he was questioned by the Commonwealth attorney. So that is so freaking weird. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank all of you for spending so much of your time with me. I'm getting sick of me. I don't know how you're feeling, but I'm getting so sick of me. I love you so much. I'm going to see you tomorrow because we got to have to come back and wait on a verdict. And tomorrow's Friday. So I don't know what's going to happen. Next witness in 45 minutes live, Trooper Paul. Awesome. Thank you so much for letting us know. Connor left the office and hung a shingle apparently and took Laura McLaughlin with him. We just found that out. Well, I found it out like the other day, but I just forgot to tell you. I love you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow. I'm not sure what time yet, but I'll have to set an alarm. Love you guys. Peace out. If you could hype this earlier stream from today, that would be really great because of all the interruptions. We lost a lot of viewers. We went from like 27,000 viewers to like 13,000 because of all the interruptions, and that was bogus, but it is what it is. It still has, I think, almost 200,000 views, so we're doing okay. Love you guys. Peace out. Thanks, mods. I could never do this without you. Love you. Bye.